I think. Wait. Yeah. Maybe. No. Yes. Yes, we are live. We are live!
Oh, we're live? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we are live. Welcome everyone to the next DeepSea podcast. And I'm here with a new guest and a returning guest. Welcome Vasko and welcome Huntgbunt to the DeepSea podcast.
Thank you.
Good morning. Well, afternoon. I don't know where your viewers are from, but hi, guys.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear us right. If someone is a bit too quiet or a bit too loud, or the music is too quiet or too loud, just tell us in the chat. Okay, so today this is a bit more special because we are starting to branch. Hey, Squidmean, hello there. So we are starting to branch out and talk about Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, and basically just the strategy games that we love, and JRPGs.
Alright, so what should we talk about first? Well,
Let's start with Fire Emblem because we have this nice tea music.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Carmack.
it's fitting. I told her the idea of team music before we even started. It's like, hey, you should put Team Mario music since it's Fire Emblem. And she's like, sure.
So yeah,
It's like-
before we start, I'm going to cheat, because in Fire Emblem it's just so stupid that you just cannot ask anyone what's their favorite tea. So I'm just going to ask for a little icebreaker. What's your favorite tea? And what are you drinking right now?
Like, what am I drinking right now?
Yeah, and what's your favorite tea?
Well, I know this might sound plain, but I'm just like to drink water occasionally.
But tea.
Just plain water, that's it.
You must have a favorite tea.
Oh, favorite tea? Well, if I don't really... Honestly, I never really drank tea before, but if I had to choose a specific tea, I just... sweet tea.
Okay. Okie
Something
dokie.
like that.
Okay,
I
Vasko?
know, I'm a loser.
So something sweet blend. Sweet blend tea. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know
Sweet-
what sweet tea
sweet ones.
technically is, but it's a thing in the U.S. I don't know how to describe it to like non-U.S. people.
What's that? What is it called?
I think it's like black tea, and it's just cold, but it's with like a lot of sugar in it.
Something
Mhm.
like that.
So it's like black
Probably.
tea with a lot of sugar.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah. So I think then Huntgbunt's favorite tea is like a 1-star tea because it's just something sweet blend, and
Yeah,
Vasko has like a 2 or 3-star tea. Well, I'm a big tea drinker, so I'm a bit hard to amaze. But yeah, I generally like fruit teas, but right now I'm drinking something that it's a bit hard to describe. It's something with a
Monster?
pineapple. Yeah, I put Monster into everything, but besides that, because
I
that's
saw
normal
your Twitter.
for me.
I saw your Twitter.
Monster tea.
Monster tea, it's a real beast. So
So you're telling me you put Monster in tea? is what
and
you're trying to
boil
say.
it. Yes.
And boil it?
No. So right
Oh.
now I'm drinking something of a pineapple and apple tea that's actually mixed with chili, like chili powder, and it's surprisingly good and spicy.
Neat.
Okay, now that we know,
Spicy.
like, if you want to invite Huntgbunt and Vasko on their birthday for a tea, then now you know. It's like exclusively now you know that.
Just give me any sweet tea and you'll be satisfied with our conversations and tea parties.
And just
By the
for
way, Vasco, mind if I ask you something?
Me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who's your favorite Fire Emblem character in Three Houses?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
oof.
'Cause
That's
I
hard.
told
Favorite
Todd
in what way? Because
it could be anyone, honestly. I already have my favorites.
Felix? I don't know.
Oh, Felix.
But how do you
It
mean
seems cool.
favorite? Like, that's the character that is most like you, or that's your interest? Or just generally, do you think
I
that
just
that's
relate to the most? Like
that really?
if you want to know what I'm like IRL, I'm like Felix.
So you're like a tsundere, almost?
Basically, yes.
And who is your favorite love interest then?
I mean, Marianne was initially, but like
Great taste. Great
Annette
taste.
seems cool as well. I don't know.
Who is cool too?
Annette.
Like,
is-
who'd you marry? Who'd you marry in the game?
I mean, the first time it was Marianne.
Ooh.
It instantly, for like as soon as I started the game, I was like, "That's the one." But then as the
Is that the
playthrough
one?
winds out, I was like, you know what? And that's also pretty cool. So,
Mhm.
Yes.
And what's for you, Hanjiban?
Like you said, I really just adore Annette. Like, she's just a little sweetheart, and I just love her for that. I also like Claude because he's a meme lord like me.
No, he's not. He's
I just like how he
stupid.
talks. He's like he's more human. Like most of the characters act so just straightforward, while Claude's just more laid back, and I like it for it. I like Josie did for that.
Yep.
You know the
Yeah,
voice actor.
Jose, yeah. He has a YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel is growing so fast. Like, I think half a year ago, or sometime like 4-5
Oh,
months
and
ago.
here's a fun fact. Joe ZJ, the voice actor for Claude, once voiced McDonald's ad one time, like 5 years ago, and by the time Fire Emblem Three Houses came, everyone's making Claude jokes here and there because they both sound the same.
Yep. And
Don't let anyone stand in their way.
and he
With
voiced
McDonald's breakfast.
Star Fox as well.
Yeah, he
Right.
starred. He plays Fox McCloud in that one Star Fox Zero animation short.
But yeah. My favorite, like, I didn't finish a run yet. I'm just before the time skip, so just this stream won't have too many spoilers. But the thing, at least I ask you not to spoil too much for
Yeah,
me.
we won't.
But Claude is definitely stupid. I hate him, and I definitely don't have any interest in him whatsoever. I think the best character is I don't know. Let's just move on. This question is stupid. Okay.
Yeah, my questions are so stupid.
Not your question. No, never mind. Look, Claude is not that bad. But okay.
Well, yeah. Let's just move on.
If I really have to choose another character than Steven, yeah, so he's charming and
Sylvain.
whatnot. Yeah, Sylvain, not because he's much better than Claude, definitely. So I will definitely take him as a husband over any time than Claude.
It's funny
No.
because Sylvain is a gold digger, but 90% of the fan base can't help fall for him.
Yeah, like Sylvain is just a nice person under the rug. I don't know, under the skin. No, that's bad. I'm not a native English speaker. Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah, we are
Same
from.
here.
This is like Central East Europe gang here, Hanjiban. Me and Vasko.
Yeah,
no struggles,
Like
don't
mine,
worry.
I had to wake up early for this, so it's a lot different for y'all too.
No, Vasko is in the USA, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to now that we know our interests and whatnot. As I get like both of you chose maybe Golden Deer first. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did go in there first. Too.
Yeah, Golden Deer. We are in the same team. Okay, so let's just then move on now from preferences to how we view the game. Because Fire Emblem Three Houses, I didn't play the previous Fire Emblems, just heard about them. But what do we think about the game in general, and yeah, about some topics regarding the game and the genre. So, Fire Emblem Three Houses, if someone didn't know, actually last year in December won the Game Awards, the strategy game of the year. And many people were surprised in my group of friends as well, because most of my friends don't have a Switch, but as much as they've seen about Fire Emblem Three Houses, they didn't think for a second, just from first look or like a 5-minute gameplay, that Fire Emblem was this big of a strategy game.
It also won. It also won Player's Voice.
Yeah, definitely. So Fire Emblem was an amazing game. We all three totally agree with this on this one. But as someone who is not, don't know the Fire Emblem series or just don't know especially this game, this is just seems such a weird combination. That this is half of a strategy game or like a battle, a board game, and the other half is a live stream basically with storylines and characters.
I mean,
and
it's basically chess and a dating sim at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like so weird. That's why people were puzzled that how could it win the strategy game award when there are like Total War, Three Kingdoms there, and other like really big grand strategy games that have like a much bigger budget than Fire Emblem. Like, how could Fire Emblem beat them? And when I start to always explain to these people that the live stream part is just as important or even more important than what you do during the battle. So yeah, that's important too, not to kill your people, but managing the people is in the monastery. I think it's the harder challenge, definitely, than the battles themselves. Well, it depends on what difficulty you're
Recruit
playing
every
on.
last one of them.
Yeah. So what do you think? Which part is the harder? Which difficulty did you play on? And what do you think about this? That how much strategy do you need in the live stream part?
You want to go first, Vasco, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. Well, if I have to be honest, I only played on casual mode. I couldn't risk seeing some of these, like, all these characters. I love them. Like, they're like some of the most lovable characters I've ever seen in a game, bar none. And in classic mode, I know how that characters can permanently die if they run out of HP, because that's how classic mode works. There's a thing called permanent death, if you guys don't know Fire Emblem stuff. And basically, if a character runs out of HP, that's it. You don't see him. It's game over.
It's like a Nuzlocke in Pokemon.
Yeah, basically. If they run out of HP, they're gone forever. And I couldn't risk that. I can't risk that, but... And I tried normally first time. I felt like it was a little easy some points and some hard here and there. But when I got into the harder difficulties, it really became more of a challenge, and I really had to get more strategic elements in there, trying to get used to it and all that.
So what was the hardest difficulty that you tried out?
Hard. I never tried maddening.
Mm-hmm.
I tried maddening once.
And how did it go?
I barely got past the mock battle, and then I just switched it over to easy.
Like, did you start on maddening?
I started on maddening, and then I did the little intro battle that was doable, because, the game helps you out for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first battle you do after that is the mock battle between the three houses. Yes. And in that one, that's before you have the ability to, reset, undo moves. So I lost that a solid 6 or 7 times until I finally won because I got lucky with the RNG.
Oof. Yeah. So, yeah, before I started as well, I was constantly reading the forums about difficulty levels, what do they advise for people that are new to the Fire Emblem series, but also really good at strategy games, because I love strategy games. I grew up with them next to my father, and I'm really good at strategy games. I don't want to brag, but really I'm good at them. So I started on hard difficulty, and I don't really have to use time skip ever. I mean, this divine pulse. I don't know.
Yeah, divine pulse.
Yeah, so I don't really have to use it ever. I think I just use it 3 or 4 chapters, in every 3 or 4 chapters once. So it could be a bit harder for me, but I'm used to strategy games. But I do think that it's really good that there are these difficulty levels, easy and hard and maddening, that everybody can find their own playstyle. Like, I'm pretty happy with hard, actually. It's not too difficult, but I'm happy with it. But for example, my friend Agent, he is totally a newcomer, both to Fire Emblem and both to strategy games. So playing on like easy classic is just perfect for him, and he can enjoy the story that he is for mostly. And I know that there is one of my other friends, and I know about Zero as well, that they are playing on Maddening because they are Fire Emblem veterans, strategy game veterans, and they just love to torture themselves. I heard that there will be another one. I do not know.
Oh,
Well,
I just
yeah.
reminded myself something. Do you want to hear a funny story about how I got into Fire Emblem Three Houses? If you want.
Sure.
All right, so basically, I wanted to try Three Houses for a while. This was around November, and December, January-ish, and this was before you know who got revealed for Smash Brothers. And it's
You
funny,
know
it's
who?
ironic.
Like, it's like a Voldemort or what?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows that Bios got included to Smash Bros. And it's funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny. It's ironic because most people hated Bios' reveal, while I was the only ones who got inspired from it to actually play Three Houses.
I don't think that you're the only one, but yeah.
And then I end up loving it because I've actually played some tactical RPGs before, but it's mostly just games like XCOM and Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That's a RPG.
Yeah, XCOM. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I
I
never really got into
agree.
Fire Emblem as I do.
Smash did that
as I
for
have
me
now.
too.
What was that, Vasko? What was that, Vasko?
I was saying
What's that?
Smash did the same thing for me as well because I was like, oh, who's the hero guy from Dragon Quest? Like, that's such a random DLC character. And then I got the game and I was like, oh, I see why he's in there now.
Because Dragon Quest is an important part of gaming history, and most people don't
Yeah.
even know that because it got overshadowed by Banjo-Kazooie, who
And
I
the
really
game
love.
itself is really good. It's definitely another
Is
one
it
of those
good?
RPGs that, yeah.
It seems like a little bit, it's like with Fire Emblem, that I don't know the Dragon Quest series, and I just hate hero in Smash to the point that I refuse any kind of Dragon Quest ever. But and I see that with these little blue blobs of enemies and
Slimes,
just
slime.
slimes and all these enemies, that it feels that the graphics or how the style seems a bit childish to me. Like, is the story childish, or is it like a mature story, or can you just make a comparison? Can you compare Dragon Quest to something else that we know?
I mean, have you played the Trials of Mana demo?
No. So is it
No.
like a JRPG?
If I had
right?
If I had to compare Dragon Quest to something, it's basically just your average JRPG, basically.
Would you say it's average, Vasco?
I mean, isn't that like where most of the JRPGs came from? Like where most
I
of them
wouldn't say
inspired?
average, but rather generic.
Mm-hmm. So it's
Yeah, I
like
mean, the story itself is very, I'd say, fun and witty, but the characters to me just kind of remind me of like the 90s, early
Mhm.
2000s anime. So like if you like Dragon Ball and all that type of stuff, I think you like the character
It's by the
design.
same artist, Akira Toriyama.
Oh, that
yeah,
explains everything.
now
then.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah, and because the characters have like the same style of faces, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, they both have the same style of the Dragon Ball characters. That's why they might seem similar, because it's by the same artist.
So if you like Dragon Ball, people, then check out Dragon Quest, because
Only if you like the art style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for the art style. If you love the Dragon Ball art style, then you will love the Dragon Quest art style as
Yeah,
well.
and the gameplay is more like a mix of Pokemon and of Xenoblade. So like your team will auto attack, or you can let them auto attack. You can control everyone, or you can choose to just let them do their own thing.
But is it like turn-based, or is it real
Yes, it's
time?
turn-based.
Yeah, it's turn-based.
Ah, okay. Because for a second I thought, like, you know, that you mentioned that the people attack by themselves is that, you know, some moves had like this attack is like 4 seconds long in real time, you know, and you stop the time to just set different things, and if they're, you know, never mind. There are some games like this that are like, I think the new Final Fantasy VII remake is like a bit similar, that it was a turn-based game but now it's semi-real time something.
Antifa.
Yeah. Okay. So did you finish Dragon Quest?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I did not finish the post game because it's a long game and other stuff came out.
How long was the main campaign?
I think I spent like a solid 60 hours on it, maybe a bit more.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And how much grinding did you need? Because many times in many JRPGs I encounter grinding, you know, just to progress.
I wouldn't say much.
Mhm.
It felt pretty well paced, I'd say.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. So, who do you recommend Dragon Quest to?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like,
I think
do you
recommend it.
Yeah. Do you recommend it to what kind of people do you recommend it to? The game.
People who like anime.
Too many
And
people like
JRPGs too.
anime. Yeah, not enough people like anime. Okay.
It has a lot of those
Anime
tropes in
bad.
there. Just like Fire Emblem does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fire Emblem is like really, how should I say, it's a bit weird because it's on one side really stereotypical, I guess, with the characters and the story, so far as I've seen, a bit predictable, but on the other side I have no idea where the story goes. Like it's like at the same time a bit predictable, but also I don't know what will happen exactly. Like, for example, who will be the Flame Emperor? I don't know. I just know when it will be revealed in the story, and I know that what is mainly the focus of the baddies, but I don't know how we will actually defeat them. I have no idea about that, and that's true for the characters as well. Like, I know they are just the stereotypical characters many times. Like, for example, Marianne. That Marianne is just, you know, you're a bit stereotypical, just a depressed moe character.
And Bernadetta.
And yeah, so there are like many characters from tropes. But on the other hand, I don't know where they will develop, because in many bad games they don't develop the characters. But in Fire Emblem you can definitely see through the support conversations, and then after the time skip, that these characters do develop a lot in terms of character and personality, and even like their look, how they look like, because many years back. And this is a thing that surprisingly few games can do right recently. At least this is how I see it. What do you think?
I believe I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you believe that. By the way, are there any certain support conversations that you really adore or really like? Anything?
Definitely a few. Like, what was... Okay, just to stick with this thought process, though. What was the support conversation, or who was the character that you think changed the most?
Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because,
I
in my
agree.
opinion, before time skip, wait, is this a spoiler? I'm going to say it's a spoiler, but
Spoiler.
before time skip, she was this sad, depressed, tired. Look, you can tell she had no sleep at all. But when you get to the post time skip, she's been sleeping because just by the look of her face, she has no of those dark curls in her eyes. She's a lot more positive now. That's what I like about Marianne, because she's growing up. She's evolving.
This is not Marianne in the background, but never mind. We're talking about characters, so there you go. Yeah, just continue. Yeah, so Marianne changed a lot. Who else?
I
maybe?
also like that one support composition with Sylvain and Marianne, where Sylvain tries to get her to smile by saying cheese, and she's like, cheese.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm like. I love that too. Cheese. And it was even creepy.
It's like, cheese.
Cheese. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Sylvan has some really, really funny support conversations. One of my favorite funny ones is Lawrence and Sylvan.
There's also this one composition with Bernadetta and Raphael, where my boy Raphael is trying to support Marianne. She's trying to give her advice to deal with him, helping people with social anxiety. Like, Raphael is just this big, lovable dork, and I cannot hate him for that. He's just so lovable. He's a big old lug.
Yep. I'm just gonna make Linhardt disappear because Agent hates him so much.
What about you, Vasko? Are there any support conversations you really enjoy?
Yes. Lysithea and Cyril.
Yes!
I didn't have that yet. I don't spoil it. I didn't
Oh
have
my
that yet.
Heroes, that's like the best one in the entire game.
I know what you mean.
It'll make you cry.
With laughter?
It makes me... Hey, I guess you could say it makes me bappy just watching it.
It touches your heart.
Then I'm looking forward to it. Like, I really liked also Lysithea and Claude, when Claude is just taunting Lysithea to go to bed.
Yes. The boogeyman might come and get you.
The golden deer is precious. The golden deer has like the best. Yeah, it's like it's so good that the golden deer has many just a bit more laid back characters or like support conversations with them. It's just
they chill.
It lifts the mood maybe, and I really like when. Sorry.
Another one that I'd say is really good. That you might be able to do in your run is Bernadetta and Sereth.
Bernadetta and Sereth. Maybe, yeah.
I have something to ask of you.
Or from
I was trying to mock Sereth's voice, how he says, I have something to ask of you. Something like that. Just me playing around and such.
Yes, what is it like that, Professor, I have something to ask of you. We are stuck at the McDonald's playpen. And we didn't even get our
Plane's
dinner.
got us trapped in a McDonald's play place.
Yeah.
We're inside a bubble in the dining area. Can you see this flame at you? Please get us out. We haven't eaten our order yet.
Yep. I love that one. There is an animation about
Boomer
it.
said it. Just Boomer said it.
Yep. There is even an animation about it from Pringus Dingus. It's really good.
He is a great animator.
Have you seen it, Vasko?
I don't think I have.
Let me just send it to you because he has some funny Fire Emblem animations. I'm just going to put it into the chat as well.
Especially the one where Claude's trying to interrogate Jritza.
What? Oh yeah.
Oh, there's another animation featuring Claude trying to interrogate. It features that one scene from that one show with the 1, 2, 3, 4, ding 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 ding, something like that.
Oh yeah. So check out Pringus Dingus's animations. He makes some really funny Fire Emblem shorts, and I love it. Many of them, like for example, this one is actually voiced by the stated voice actor, like the real voice actor.
But then he got in trouble for it.
Really?
Yeah, well, if I recall correctly, he got in trouble for it because his character's in Nintendo copyright for some reason. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen the story. But apparently you're not allowed to voice your characters for anything other just for the game.
I'm going to just search on this right now on Google because this seems so absurd. Have you heard about this, Vasko?
I have not, but I could see it happening, especially with how Nintendo protects its copyright stuff.
So
They don't
strict.
come up
Ooh.
with that many new things at all. Like, think about how many new IPs they've actually had.
I'm just going to really search on this.
But you can't forget about the Minecraft server one. You know, where he says that Claude invited Flame to the Minecraft server, and then Edelgard just puts TNT all over their house and then blows it up.
Okay, I have seen that one.
Which one? Which one?
It's well, it's another one where it's basically here's the scenario. It's another one of these memes, you know, like the McDonald's one, and it basically means Claude invited Flame to a Minecraft server, and Edelgard keeps on griefing her house, you know, blowing it up, and then Flame kept on screaming, and the
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
now I know. I've seen it one time long ago.
Oh, it can't be a Fire Emblem podcast without saying, I am Verland von Eyre. No response?
What? Just a
You
second.
Oh.
I'm just starting to search for this thing that you mentioned, but I can't find it.
I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see anything about this that Nintendo would have.
I can search it up for you later.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
I'll do
that.
curious.
I'll do that later.
Thank you.
In the meantime.
Okay.
No problem. In the meantime, is there anything else to talk about Fire Emblem related? Or anything like that? All right.
So, what do you think? Who got the most character development besides Marianne?
Well, I could see Bernadetta being one of those. Like, she used to be this shy, loner person, but now she's like trying to be more open and something like that. Like, cause if you try to have a normal conversation with her, she just runs away before something like that.
Yeah, but
now she's like trying to get more open, you know, socializing more, you know. So I could see Bernadetta being one of those.
Another question that I've seen with Bernadetta is that many people are saying that Bernadetta at the beginning of the game, oh my god, don't look at me, no, I'm so scared. At the end of the game, she's like a Terminator killing machine, and
actually well, in terms of killing machine, that would fit more like Scythia more, because she can one-shot the Death Knight.
Yeah.
Like that. And pretty much every other enemy in the game.
Okay. Yeah, Fire Emblem, there are a lot of stuff about the Fire Emblem that we can talk about. For one, another topic, that do you think that the next Fire Emblem game will be a continuation of Three Houses, or will it just play...
Well, every Fire Emblem is different, aside from remakes, that is. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a brand new one altogether, because it's not gonna be like sequels or anything like that. It's all different.
Yeah, the endings are really different. So their only option is probably would be just a prequel.
Well, I think just the way they handle the IP is just every new game is just its entirely own universe type of thing.
But you know, there were a few games that were connected. Like, I think there was another. Like, I didn't play Fire Emblem
Warriors
before that. No, not the Warriors. The Warriors are their own thing. But
it's not that bad. I played it. It's not really that bad, unless you're into that kind of stuff. But it's not really my cup of tea.
You know, but I'm talking about the main game. So there was. So, like, as I know, the one that has like Chrome in it and Robin in it. Then there
Awakening?
Was another one with Corin. Like, those games are connected. So there were like multiple games that had that shared like the same Fire Emblem universe, maybe. I don't know. Or like, what do you know about this? Like, all of these are Fire Emblem, but are these Fire Emblem games connected somehow?
You may never know.
I mean, they seem to have the similar theme that you don't know about because it's spoilerish. So you'll find out when you finish the game, but they do have similar themes.
So, like, besides the name and the theme, like, nothing is similar?
I mean, I assume like a character class. I think Anna's like the one, not Annette. Anna is like the one character that appears in all of them, right? The sales lady.
Yeah.
Anna
I know.
appears in every game.
Yep, she's the
Yep.
consistency. The Fire Emblem's all about her.
What?
You could say
Actually,
that she's the You could say that she's the mascot, yet she never appears in Smash Brothers.
but
Funny.
like, I will be that honest.
Well, she does.
I think Anna is like one of the lamest characters that you can recruit in this game.
They
Lamest.
didn't do anything for her. Like, there's no
Yeah,
conversations.
there are
there's
no
I think
support
there's like
with
one
her.
quest.
I think her voice acting is one of the weakest from the bunch, to be honest. Like,
Well, considering how she appears in every Fire Emblem game, and you have to hear the same voice actor or her voice, you can be a little. It can be a little annoying.
really? So she says even the same things? Or.
Welcome. That's all I hear. That's all I can hear. Like, come again soon. But also in support combat, she actually does appear in some of Ash's support conversations with Ash and Petra. Has anyone seen one of those?
Like in the background, right?
Yeah, she appears in the background sometimes.
Okay.
You can hear her talk too.
So then Anna is like this big thing. But then what does it matter to just, I don't know. Like, yeah, so it's that's the problem. Like, I don't like to invite her to dinner or anything because it's like the support with her doesn't
Because
matter.
what's the point?
Yeah. And she's not strong, so like I recruited her, she's a thief, and technically it's just useless. Like she just dies easily. That's what she does.
Yeah, I used her in my last run, and she just, I don't know. I didn't like using her.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Like by the time that I can recruit her, she is just weak, in my opinion. But me, I just like to get support conversations, so she is just a burden, basically.
It's like how Felix says it. You're weak, something like that. You know how
Yeah.
Felix says it when he beats someone. You're weak.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows. He
Another
knows what I mean.
little thing. Is it just me, or did you also notice that Catherine is constantly doing critical hits for no reason? Or is
Critical
it
hits?
just mine? Yeah, Catherine is like doing every second or third hit of her is a critical hit, and I don't know why.
Oh, you mean Catherine?
Catherine, yeah.
Well, that's suppose that's one way to put it. She does counter sometimes, maybe because the Thunderbrand gives her like 4 hits every time she attacks an enemy.
Yeah. But then maybe it's just my run because
I actually like Catherine. She's
her
pretty
luck,
nice.
her luck in my playthrough is just so damn high that she's just slashing everybody with critical hits. It's scary.
What a tank.
Yeah. Okay.
Have we talked about Xenoblade at all?
Yeah,
Except
I
that one
wanted
time?
to say the same. But let's talk about Xenoblade because the definitive edition came out recently, and
It's
Yes.
Rhine time.
what?
Yes, Rhine time.
Rhyme time? What?
What a bunch of jokers.
What?
It's Shulk's
It's-
best friend. His name is Rhine.
Okay.
He's one of the main characters in the game,
So
and,
like
and that's one of his quotes. He says it's Rhine time.
it's like
And what a bunch of jokers.
and it's rhyming, so it's rhyme time. Okay. So I don't know anything really about Xenoblade, and I'm pretty sure that many people here don't know either. So
Because it's a niche game. It's not really mainstream compared to most
Yeah.
games.
well,
Pretty niche.
yeah, but
Which
the
is
thing
sad,
is
'cause it's
that
such a good game.
let's talk about it a little bit. So what kind of game is it? Like, what's the genre for it exactly? Because from first look, it looks
a
like an MMO.
JRPG.
So it's like a JRPG, but with like open areas, like in the recent Pokemon game.
It's what Pokemon should be, but isn't.
Like not even right now. What's the difference
That's
between?
Well,
yeah,
Xenoblade
that's the
compared to
best way I can
Pokemon.
put it.
Well,
Yeah.
comparing to Xenoblade Pokemon, it's this huge, creative, ambitious adventure compared to Pokemon, where you just go on from A to B. That's pretty much all it is. Except in Xenoblade, it's different because you get to explore different areas and all that stuff.
Mhm. So, like, what's the main difference between Pokemon and Xenoblade? Like, I mean, yeah, it's more open, but yeah, graphics are better. But then, how is it more open than Sword and Shield?
So like, imagine if the entire map was. I don't know how to say without. Okay, so basically, the characters in Xenoblade live on top of these things called Titans. So it's like you're the tiny things that live on something that's much bigger, and you kind of get to explore all the different parts. So like, you start out at the leg,
and you go from the top,
and you climb all the way to the top, and there's like all these different areas.
And is the whole world the Titans? So is there something else, a world outside of the Titans? These two Titans.
I mean, spoilers. So, no, for now.
Okay, so no, just these two Titans, and every living thing, or like spoilers, live on these things, these two giant Titans. And how big are these Titans really?
What'd you say again? Repeat that.
How big are the Titans?
How big are the Titans? So if like everybody lives on them, how big are they?
I would say that they're probably massive.
Yeah,
because they are Titans, and Titans are usually humongous.
But is it like how should I say? Is a Titan like big as a state from the United States, or I know it seems like a vertical thing, so it's hard to put it, I guess.
Yeah, I would describe it as like a giant state. I think they're supposed to be continent size, honestly. But the areas you get to explore feel like it's as big as a state, but in reality, it's huge.
Okay, I'm trying to put a picture in for the people that are watching the podcast. So basically, at the start of Xenoblade 1, then there are two Titans. Then that's it.
Right, and in Xenoblade 2, there's like a gajillion Titans.
Oh, really? So then it expands a lot.
Right, but they're
right.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
pretty much everything else we say is kind of spoilery.
Okay, so I'm going to just save a bunch of pictures then for the people, so they can put just imagine.
Yeah, it's basically like this big adventure game. So it's very story driven and world building driven.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first map you start is called Colony 9. So it's like a little human living area, and you can choose to just go through the story and like leave that area as soon as possible, or you can like spend a solid like 5 to 6 hours just doing the side quests and exploring all the areas on the map, and then seeing all the monsters that you can fight and all that type of stuff. Like that's the pretty thing about, like, you can choose to like speedrun it if you just want pure story, or you can choose to do side quests, and there's different outfits you can change into
stuff.
It doesn't feel, that's the nice part about it. It doesn't feel like grinding. It just feels like world building, like you're learning more about the world.
When you are fighting enemies?
I mean, yeah, you still fight enemies, but like the side quest will give you a lot of money or a lot of experience. So like something
put in a picture while we are talking, so that the Titans are these huge things, and as you can see, like it's a bit hard to determine that how big is actually a Titan, but it looks like at least a big mountain, a huge mountain that is like thousands of meters tall.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between the Titans? Like, is one the terrain, the biomes are different on one Titan or the other?
Well, is that how you call it? Is it Bionless and Mechanus, right?
Yeah,
Right,
so
for
what's
one,
the
yeah.
story about, basically?
Well, Bionis, I believe, contains human life, like Shulk, Ryan, and the other people. While Mechonis contains, like, the Mechon.
Mechanical
That's what
life.
they're called.
It's basically robots. They're all robots.
They are breeding themselves?
And so the game basically starts with the robots are attacking the living things, and living things be like, man, you should not have attacked us. And then they go on an adventure to figure out how to beat the robots.
Ah.
And then anything else is just extreme spoiler, but very interesting story that I would definitely, like, you want to live through that story.
Is there a non-spoiler reason why the one Titan has robots and the other one has like people on them?
I think that's just how the Titans were born. So like one's a mechanical Titans and the other one's a biological one. So like the biological one has life on it and the mechanical one has robots.
But do
Like,
the
it's just-
robots build themselves?
I don't think that's ever explained.
They don't really want to go into these details because then they come down to sex.
I think it's just like, oh, it just evolutionized out of, I don't know, robots evolutionized out of a robot.
And does the other Titan look like more of a robot, or like how it looks? Or both of these giants are just like some kind of stone thing?
Yeah, I mean, one of them looks like a living thing, and the other one looks like a robot. So you can tell, like, as you're playing through the game, like, oh, that one's definitely a robot, and this one's definitely not a robot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, hi, G.
Who? What?
Wait, you look in the chat? I can't see the
Yeah,
chat.
GG in the chat.
Oh, Gigi.
Gigi.
Oh,
Chat.
Gigi
Yo,
in the
what's
chat.
up, Gigi?
Hey, Gigi.
You didn't expect me to be here, huh, Gigi? Getting my voice for the first time now.
Well, Gigi, if you want, you can hop in sometime to the podcast.
So as far as how powerful the Titans are, they're extremely strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd say stronger than God of War Titans, and I'd say bigger than God of War Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely much bigger than. Was it like 2 where you got to climb the Titan? I forget. The one where Gaia exists. It's much bigger than Gaia, at least map-wise. If that's what you're asking for reference.
So then this is the definitive edition that came out right now for the one. Do you think that there will be a definitive edition for the second game? Is it even like, can we buy the Xenoblade 2 on the Switch?
Yes. Yeah, Xenoblade 2 is on the
It's on the
Switch as well.
Ah, okay then. So if someone just buys the new definitive edition and finishes it, then can he immediately hop onto the second one?
I actually played 2 first.
Yeah, me too.
Even though they are connected, you don't have to. It's kind of like Fire Emblem. You don't have to have played the other games to understand what's going on.
Ah, okay. Oh, Gigi. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to welcome you as well.
Oh, the
Yeah,
chat's
cannot
now
talk about the
just
Monado.
talking about Gigi.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy. Okay.
It's not like I told him about it.
So then the
Yeah.
characters and everything is different in the second game. So you could start with the second game as well.
Basically, both games, the main character just has like an overpowered sword that doesn't have its full power unlocked.
Is it the same sword?
It's not the same sword.
They're both heavily different. Like Shulk's blade is the Monado, of course. It's all about the Monado. While, should I say his name? Does
Yeah,
they know
Rex.
who?
You mean
Yeah,
Backslash?
Rex. Yeah, his name's Rex, and he has a blade. Well, it's not really a blade. It's from a. How should I describe it?
It's a
I
blade.
know who-
It's the Aegis. He has the Aegis. It's basically
Yeah,
another
the
sword,
Aegis,
but his
the
sword
Aegis,
comes
the
with a
Aegis.
waifu.
Yeah.
What? This sword comes with a waifu? What?
Yeah,
Yes,
Xenoblade 2, your sword, like your weapon, comes with another living being that follows you around.
Also known as
And-
a blade.
And in the second game, do you start on the same title?
No. Second game's
No, it's
entirely
different.
different.
Or
Titans.
entirely different? Okay.
Entirely
It's
different.
different.
And
It's
is it
called
like in the
Almas.
same universe? So it's not like in Fire Emblem that the universe itself is completely different. too?
Kind of.
Well,
But we can't say
it's-
much without spoiling.
in a way. I
In
can't
a
say.
way.
Yeah, I can't say it either. You'll understand once you actually play the game.
Okay, okie dokie.
They have the same concepts of you live on Titans and you get to explore the Titans and you have a really strong sword.
And in
Right.
gameplay-wise, is there a difference between 1 and 2, or is the core gameplay the same in Xenoblade?
I would say they're a little different in some ways because
Yes.
you still have the break, topple mechanics and all that stuff. But Xenoblade 2 has like a lot of different stuff, because blades in that game have elements to them like fire, water, ice, all that kind of stuff. And it really changes it up quite a bit. So for newcomers, it might be a little hard to get a little grasp on the whole gameplay in Xenoblade 2, but for me, I managed to understand it all quite well.
Yeah, I'd say for both games, the game kind of does this auto attack thing, and then you can choose special attacks to use. And in 2, you basically have 3 active special attacks you could choose called arts. And in 1, I think you can have up to 8. So it's 1 feels a bit more streamlined, a bit faster. Like the battles feel like they go faster.
You mean in Xenoblade 2?
In 1.
In 1. Oh, okay.
In 2, the battles feel a bit longer until you understand the battle system, and then you can make them go just as fast.
Yeah, Xenoblade 2 might seem a little slow at first, but once you get used to it, like later on in the chapters, it gets a lot faster. It's like a roller coaster of a gameplay.
And which one did you like better? Like overall?
I like both. I'm not really one to pick favorites.
Yeah, I can't
Unlike
pick either. They're both good. They're both good in their own ways.
Oh, that's
Well,
great. That's really
well,
good.
most of the time, people like to hate on Xenoblade 2 because, anime bad.
Yeah,
But-
2 is a lot more anime.
But
you mean like it's more
it's
cheesy,
funny.
or?
It's funny because the original Xenoblade was all about anime, yet once it got like a little visual upgrade, everyone's like, "Oh, that's too anime. No, take it back, take it back." I mean, I don't see what's wrong with it. It looks a lot better than it usually does.
Like 2 has a bit more anime humor, I would say, in it.
But is the story more predictable or cheesy in 2?
I would not say it's cheesy, no. The stories in both are good. 2 just has more, I guess, comedic relief moments than 1 does.
Oh, okay.
I like your attitude.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I think that's why people don't like 2 as much, because it doesn't feel as serious at times. But I enjoyed it because it's like, that's a funny moment.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
would reference a certain scene too, but I don't think Toxic would understand it. But I think you and me would understand what I'm talking about.
let's do it.
I love you and all you guys.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that just oh, that scene hurt me so much.
I mean, he's just a boy. He's just a little boy. He'll understand later down the line.
Yeah, you actually.
You gotta play the game now. You gotta play the Toxic.
Yeah, now I just really have to play out after this one. I don't know when.
But yeah, once you play Xenoblade 2, you'll understand what that scene is, what I referenced. Because Vasko and I know what we're talking about.
And how long is the game?
Huh?
And how long are the games?
I'd say 2 is longer than 1. I think 1
It-
took me about like 40, 50 hours to finish, and 2 I took like 80 hours to complete.
Ooh,
So
that's really long now.
Yeah. So if you like a time waster game, you can play Xenoblade 2 or 1 because that takes up a lot of my time.
Yep.
And then completionist wise, 2 takes much longer because you got all these different blades, and each of them has a side quest and a story attached to them.
Ooh. So
There's a
at
lot more
least
characters
it's
going
not
on.
just grinding.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will definitely consider it if I have a friend nearby that has it. I will definitely ask to, just borrow it a little bit, because it definitely piqued my interest with this. I was hesitant with it, to just add it. But yeah, it
I mean,
sounds
if
like a good
anything,
game.
it has a great story that you can enjoy. And unlike Fire Emblem, you don't have to play it over 3 more times to get the full story.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although, like, Fire Emblem is, again, such a good, even for a time waster, because before COVID, when I was going to my workplace, that is like at least 1 or 1.5 hour of public transportation, I was just bringing my Switch after a while, and I was playing Fire Emblem battles because those can take up a lot of time, especially from me. You know, I like to manage everything, and I do mean like everything has to be perfect. Okay. Then we talked about these. So Fire Emblem is more like a strategy game, and
it's more tactical.
Yeah, and Xenoblade is more like a JRPG with an open space. I want to leave Pokemon out right now because it's all own topic. It's Pokemon, yeah, and I can hear you sighing, and I totally understand why, because I was just like, when this Isle of Armor DLC reviews coming out, and I'm just clicking on one of them, and I'm just saying that I'm going to be mad. Whatever they say.
Isle of Armor DLC is what the main game should have been.
Agreed.
So definitely we will have to talk about Pokemon in another podcast, because it's just such a, how should I say, a difficult topic because of the controversies and the game in general. Like, I did a game review on Sword and Shield, and let's say it was not kind. So I give it 6 out of 10 in the end.
IGN said it's the best Pokemon game ever made.
IGN can just...
Yeah, the original Xenoblade got a 9, and IGN said to the definitive edition said it was better than the original, yet it got like an 8 out of 10 instead of 9.
Higher. Although the standards do change after a while, so maybe...
And you know what made me mad the most about that review? Vasko?
Everybody hated that review.
The reviewer said that Melia was a weak character.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Melia is like the best character.
Like, they mispronounce every name ever.
Who doesn't love Bird Lady?
Like, I heard that Xenoblade fans were really angry at that IGN review because it was obvious that they didn't really play the game. They mispronounced every game.
Duncan.
Yeah, at this point, like, I do feel that IGN just fears to make a bad review, and we should just really play the game. Just I don't know. Yeah. Right. So yeah, Pokemon definitely needs its own thing, because it's a really big topic. Yeah, let's not go into it. But about other JRPGs, because now we mentioned this topic, that did you play with Octopath Traveler? You did, Vasko, as I know.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Now that's a niche game, I can tell you that.
Yes, the music is amazing.
Especially the battle theme.
Oh yeah, the music in Octopath Traveler is really...
It's been a while since I played that game too. I started off with the thief. What's his name again?
Therion.
Yeah, Therion. Yeah, that's the name.
And I started out with Hanit.
I was Cyrus.
So, who is that one?
The scholar guy.
Which one?
The scholar.
Oh,
you can tell a lot about a person by who they chose as their starting
character. I just wanted to say the same. So, like, Vasko is a scholar, Huntgbunt is a person who borrows things, and a memer, let's just say. A memer. Huntgbunt is a dirty memer, and I'm a hunter. Hunting.
My name is Hunter too, funny enough.
That's true.
So that's really fitting.
But I'm just going around and challenge people to things.
Yeah, Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing about Octopath Traveler, that I bought it when I first got my Switch. It was, I think, the third game that I picked up. And I was like, I don't like JRPGs in general, but I heard so many good reviews about Octopath that I picked it up and I was disappointed. Like, it was one of the best JRPG games I've played, and I do think that I will finish it. And that was the kind of game that I was playing on the train a lot. and whatnot
But
on
then
public
again,
transport.
it only matters on what your tastes and preferences the games are.
Yeah.
Is all that matters.
Yeah, so before
not
we
satisfied
go
with
into
the
the
game, don't worry about it.
JRPG and criticism or anything, like did you play Octopath Traveler, Hunter?
I did, Mike. I said I started off with a thief.
And did
Okay,
you?
did you
Yeah,
beat
of
Octopath
course. Sorry.
Traveler?
So what did you finish it? Did you two finish it?
No, I haven't. But I'm going to eventually.
Like how much did you play?
If I have to be honest, I was I think I'm still on Therion's part, but I wasn't really satisfied with the game in my opinion, but I might play it again someday because it's quarantine. So
How many followers did you get?
followers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Travelers.
Travelers.
I think around. It's been a while, like a year, so maybe like 2 or 3. I think, or maybe 4. I don't remember. It's been like forever.
Yeah, me
So
too.
you just did the chapter 1s basically, and then
That's it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Like I collected the thief guy was
What
my
is the name?
second, the white-haired thief guy, and then it was the belly dancer, I think, and then there was the
Oh, you said Billy Dancer? You're just gonna get like Shantae vibes now.
Shanty. Yeah, I should play Shanty. I'm curious about it.
Do it. It's a
Yeah.
great. If you're into platformers, I recommend Shantae.
I'm into everything. That's the thing. I like every genre except JRPGs and MMORPGs.
Pretty much every mainstream media says that.
Like I'm dead honest.
It's not
Like
a bad thing though.
I really want to love these genres. I talked about this with Vasko actually. That I really do think that every genre has its gems, but I just can't seem to find one in JRPGs and MMORPGs. Like JRPGs at least have Pokemon. I enjoy Pokemon, but
Everyone
besides
loves Pokemon. It's obvious.
Yeah. So yeah, and you, Vasco, how far did you progress in Octopath? Did you finish it?
I just haven't been the secret boss because you gotta grind for that one, and I just didn't feel like it.
Oof. Okay. And how much time did it take to finish it?
About 80 hours.
Oof. Okay. And did it take grinding?
Okay, so there are like side bosses and super bosses. For those, you kind of gotta plan a little bit. So like for one of them, I intentionally like planned what I was gonna do, and I like beat a super boss in like 4 turns, which just felt so good. But other than that, nah, I kind of just jump into a boss battle and spend like a solid 30 to 40 minutes on it.
Okay.
I think that's the part about JRPGs that people don't like is the grindy and the time consumption. Like if you do a boss battle, it takes you like 20 to 30 minutes for a boss battle, which
it was
don't
actually
always
not that for me. Why I didn't
No?
like it. I have a totally different reason. Like, yeah, maybe some people don't like it because of that, but my reason was not that. So you think that it was a bit on the downside, that it was a bit too time consuming. And what do you think, Huntgbunt? What was the
Me or
problem with it?
Vasco?
Hunter, what do you think about what's the problem with Octopath, or why didn't you continue? Because you did put it down for some reason.
Well, for one thing, maybe it wasn't for me. I like the style of it. It looks really nice, but I think it's more of the grinding part that I wasn't really used to yet. Because then again, it was my first time playing this style of game. It's not really a JRPG in my opinion, but it is an RPG. But if I had to say one time, it's probably just the grinding. If that's how it. Because I can't get this past this one part, and it's.
So it was a boss. So it was some kind of grinding that took why you didn't continue.
I guess so. It's just been like a year, so it may be a little rusty memory, but I think it's just because of the grinding.
Okay. I'm going to meanwhile put it into the topic that we are talking about at the moment, because now this is the another game again.
So it's Fire Emblem Xenoblade and Octopath Traveler?
Yeah, but not into the title, just somewhere on the screen. I don't know, I can't find a place for it.
Okay.
It will be just here. In your palm. There you go. You are holding Octopath Traveler now.
Yep.
Is it 2 hours? I'm not sure.
It's good. It's good. Nope.
Is it good
2 big now.
Grammarly?
Yeah, there you go.
This video is sponsored by Grammarly. Oh no. The damn ad. Yeah,
Now I'm just holding Octopath Traveler like that.
yes. So the thing is that why I didn't like it, it was not why it's lengthy. Like Fire Emblem is a really lengthy game as well, and it takes a bunch of time to progress in it, especially if you want to do multiple rounds. So I already played with Fire Emblem like 55 hours or something, and I just got to the time skip. I'm playing really, really slowly, and because I'm a perfectionist and I want to do everything perfectly. And
Right.
the thing is that why I put down JRPGs is that my JRPGs and MMORPGs break my immersion too often. So the problem with them for me is that when I play a game, I always like to immerse myself and create my own character kind of in a game. So if I choose Hanit in Octopath, the hunter, I choose her because she is most like me, and I like to roleplay a little bit as that character. If I don't find a character that suits me, for example, I know that the Witcher 3 and the Witcher franchise is awesome, but I never played them really because I'm not like Geralt. I'm I don't look like Geralt. I can't immerse myself in the game. So immersion is really important to me. But I accept that a game can be good, just it's not for my taste. So I do accept that Octopath Traveler is a really good JRPG game, as I picked it up as well. But the problem with it, it's not for my taste, because, for example, with Honit, I started to go around, and in the Honit, and every character has a unique mechanic that every character can do something with the townsfolk, and let that be charm or just healing them or whatnot. So all these kind of things, or just stealing stuff from them, and most of them are totally fine. But what Honey does is that she just carries around her fucking snow leopard or whatnot, just that huge beast with her, and she challenges people like a fucking Pokemon trainer. And it's like, not even like, okay, you guy, I challenge you, put out your Pokemon or your, I don't know, leopard or boar or anything. No, Honey challenges people with her snow leopard. Like, oh, there is that old lady. Hey, old lady, my snow leopard is going to beat your ass now. And I'm going to just get reputation and money. And it's like, even in game, the old lady is screaming that, help, how could a beast come into town? And it's like, I don't know. And I'm just beating old people on the street while town guards are just watching. It's fine.
You don't gotta do that though,
Yeah, but I do. And because I was curious, like what will happen if I'm that kind of gamer that like to challenge things. And I do that, and it turns out that nothing. The game is totally fine with me beating all the people on the street with a snow leopard.
So that's where Octopath fails, is because they had this system of like good or bad routes.
Right.
But then they don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Basically, with the bad ones, it's like if you fail, you lose reputation.
Yep.
And then you can just pay money to regain yours. So there's like really no impact on it.
Yep.
And as someone who has basically finished all of the game, I can tell you that it has zero impact at all, like on the ending.
Yeah,
which
I
is the
suspected
sad part.
as
It's
well.
like you would have expected, like, oh, if you do the good routes, and then at the end of the game, it's a different end. Like in Undertale, how you can have
Yeah.
like 3 different endings. You think, oh, this would have different endings depending on which path. No, it doesn't.
Yep. So it's like that's my problem. So if those people just picked up, you know, their own animal to defend themselves with, and the old people may have a fucking rabbit or I don't know, just a chipmunk, then it's fine. It's like a Pokemon battle, and it's like Pokemon. I'm fine with this. I would even like it. That I beat up your I don't know your stupid hamster with a leopard. I'm fine with that. And maybe the royal guard has like a lion or something. But this is where this game mostly just fell apart for me. That it was just so stupid, and it technically ruined the game for me a little bit. The other one is that I hate, and many games do that, is the random encounters. Just that I'm walking, just want to go through this path, and I don't want to be interrupted. Just let me go through this path, please. And it's no random encounters. And I can't even see it when it will happen. I'm just like, oh, there is a chest, and one step away, and random encounters. It's like what I feel is that I'm constantly interrupted by an annoying thing because these creatures are not dangerous to me at all. And I'm just constantly interrupted by a grinding, annoying, boring thing. And that's why I don't like this most JRPGs, because I definitely hate the random encounters.
Yeah, and I see that. Like, the good thing is, though, I'm noticing a trend that most, well, I wouldn't say most, but at least the main title RPGs are moving away from random encounters, which is
Yep.
nice.
Definitely. So even Undertale moved away from it. Like Deltarune didn't have random encounters. It had like enemies moving around, and if they meet you, then the encounter starts, and that's much better. Like
I do agree with that. Just
even
and
Pokemon,
again,
yeah.
just to go back to Dragon Quest, like the original game, at least from what I understand, it had random encounters, and in the newest one, which was what 11, does not
I
have
got
random.
the age.
Like you have to run into the enemy to start a fight with them. They don't just like randomly start a fight with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's
maybe in like 5 years you start liking JRPGs.
maybe, yeah. Like I said, like I already like them. I'm starting to like them better.
And I think you like Xenoblade because it doesn't have random encounters.
Good. So you have to
It
actually
does have
meet
some
the
forced
enemy.
encounters where like enemies they have this thing where like if an enemy is stronger than you and they see you, they'll attack you, or if they hear you, they'll attack you.
That's good.
There's also enemies that are like level 80 and you're just level 20-ish. There's gonna be like moments where you
so
see
like
that.
in Pokemon Sword and Shield, when you're just going around and like every Pokemon wants to murder your face, it just goes after you.
Not quite. I think it's much
Not
better
really.
than Pokemon.
What? What?
Xenoblade, it's much better than Pokemon. So like, if you're significantly overleveled, they don't bother you. Like they just.
But if you're underleveled, they'll go on to attack you regardless.
Yep.
Looks like we don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's another quote. It's another quote from Shulk.
And again, it depends on the enemy. So there's some enemies that just won't bother you at all, even if they're level 90 and you're like level 5. Some will only attack you if they see you. Some will only attack you if they hear you. And they have like little displays so that you know what's gonna happen when you approach them. It's not like they just like jump out of nowhere. And okay, some of them do, but in most cases, nothing like jumps out of you, and like
nothing jumps out of you. We are quickly turning to the alien.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, does Dragon Quest have random encounters?
No.
The
new one doesn't.
Okay.
I don't know about the old ones.
Okay, yeah, so then definitely the JRPGs are moving away from this. That's good. That's good news. I may like them even more now. The other thing is the MMORPGs. Did you play some MMORPGs back in the day?
I mean, like some off-brand Pokemon one, yeah, but like usually no.
What do you mean by off-brand? Was there a Pokemon?
Like not official. Like someone just had made like a Pokemon MMOR, and I used to play that when I was like 12. I don't.
So you were not on MMORPGs.
No.
And you, Hunter?
Well, well, in terms of MMORPGs, the only one I could really remember was this one game. You know, Wizards 101. That's the only game I pretty much remember. You know, is that what you could consider Wizards 101? You know that game before it shut down?
I think it rings a bell. I don't
haven't
remember.
heard about it.
Wizards, you know, the commercials,
Yeah, probably seen the
wizards101.com.
ads for it.
Yeah. It was fun. It was one of those games I usually play when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Like my
Other
friends,
than,
my friends are big on MMOs, so they are just, until this very day, they are just trying to invite me to all kinds of MMORPGs. Like, let them be World of Warcraft, you know, World of Warcraft Classic. Let that be Guild Wars 2. There are some trash MMOs, I don't even know about them. There's Black Desert, there is Elder Scrolls Online, so that like nearly all of my friends have at least one kind of MMORPG that they are into.
RuneScape.
RuneScape is the best one, I think. RuneScape, I did play it when I was really young, you know, the free one, and I always like I liked that one. So maybe RuneScape was one of the best for me because it was just interesting, you know, with the crafting and whatnot. But it felt more interactive for me. You can chop wood and whatnot. But yeah, MMORPGs are always this really messy thing. But yeah, RuneScape is mainly the only gem that I really like because MMORPGs have the same kind of problem that JRPGs have, in my opinion, just even worse. That it just lacks immersion so much. And players can make up their own stories and just put some fantasy in it, but it's just lacking on so many departments. At least I find it damn boring, first of all. Like, it's just the MMORPGs seem like a giant grind.
Yeah. I
agree.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Then we agree totally on this one, but I guess. Did you try?
Oh wait, I just realized something. Tomorrow is Edelgard's birthday.
What?
You know Edelgard, the house leader.
Yeah.
Apparently her birthday is tomorrow, June 22nd.
Oh yay! I didn't finish the game yet, but I heard that Edelgard is a bloodthirsty person. Just wants the damn crusts. Or what?
She's definitely. I'm not gonna say it.
Me neither.
I just heard that she's evil. Is she evil though?
I would not describe her as evil, but you.
It depends on your viewpoints,
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
Okay, I'm looking forward to know more about Edelgard. Maybe I will pick up the game tomorrow just to celebrate it a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, do yourself a Black Eagles run and just you learn quite a bit about her.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that the agent did a Black Eagles run and he just didn't really side with the Black Eagles. Okay. So as I know, there are 4 runs in Fire Emblem, right? For the 3 houses and 1 for the church.
Yes. But the
Okay.
church route is kind of dumb, so I would just leave it for like the end where you just want to speed run through it.
How is it? Okay. So, but can you choose the church run with like from every house? Or...
No.
No, you can only do it in a Black Eagle's house.
Ah, okay.
Based on that one event, if you know what I mean. Right,
Okay.
Vasko?
Yeah, the game tells you, so don't worry.
But
The game's
then the Blue Lions have 2 routes, right?
No.
Blue lions, no. Golden deer, no. Just black eagles.
Just the black eagles. I heard that there is a big thing that you can choose with the blue lions at a point. Big decision.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
But-
Okay. But it doesn't affect the ending. Okay.
Doesn't?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've only done it once, so I don't know if it changes.
I heard that there is something that maybe changes Dimitri himself. Maybe? I don't know. Okay.
Speaking of character development, Dimitri's got some real character development.
Agreed.
Yep. I'm just, I've seen pictures of Dimitri and he's like this, this prince, this casual prince in the beginning, and later he's like a war-torn veteran who hates everything and every one of you. I don't know.
Edgelord. He's like
Edgelord.
a prince on the outside, but a raging demon on the inside.
Ooh.
I mean, Felix isn't wrong about him.
What a bore. He calls him a bore,
Yeah.
I think. Right.
Okay.
Is there anything else to talk about, really?
Yeah, maybe one more thing. What do you think? I just want to ask your advice. As one content creator from the other.
Oh.
Content. I don't know how to name this one. So.
Oh, you saw the art I sent you?
Yeah, thank you. Like, Huntgbunt just sent me.
It's really cute.
It's a really cute art. Let me just. I can't save
Oh my
it.
gosh! Look at the chat. That's.
Wait, what happened, chat? Let me
What
see.
happened with chat? Fear the deer.
The one right under it.
Dimitri is
Alright,
me
let
after 2020.
Edo God
2020 is
wants
the
to be
time skip.
short. Fear the deer.
Yeah. Okay, so my
Which
my
character are you
question
talking
is
about?
my question is that recently I've started to think about that, a little bit of branching out to other games. What do you think that is it viable on YouTube to showcase like a few hours from many different games? Like, I talked about this topic with Vasko in like length. I don't want to go through everything, but do you think that is it a good idea to just stream multiple different games? Because I'm a game hoarder. I like to try out many different games and not finish them. I just like
Well, in my opinion, you just do whatever you see fit.
But do you
That's
think that it should be streamed or not? Does it erode your the algorithm and your fan base?
Well, if you're not in the mood for editing stuff, you can try always streaming it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the algorithm will fuck me over if I stream like many different games that people will not click on? For example, I'm just gonna say I'm going to stream like GTA 4 horror survival, 4 people, 4 survival that is like really dark, or like I will stream like Riftlands that is like a single player early access
Well, it's
card
your
game.
channel. You can do whatever you want with it.
Of course,
You know that you should probably promote it somewhere that's not YouTube if you do that, because
yeah.
I mean, most of my channel has Splatoon mains, but occasionally I have Fire Emblem 3 Houses mains that only get like 3 digits of views,
Yeah. But
and the others like 1,000.
But if I do that like every other day, I do a stream like this, would that considerably hurt the algorithm? What do you think?
no.
Not
Oh.
really.
Okay.
Should be fine.
I mean, I'm
guess.
pretty sure like Vic streams like every day now. She's fine.
Vic, I didn't reply to me. Well, never mind then. I think I will stream like today. I will do GTA for a Griffland stream. Then I just really wanted to ask your opinion, because sometimes I just don't know how the algorithm works, and some of you did start a bit earlier than me, so you may have more experience with these algorithm kind of things.
Look at the chat. It says fear the deer.
Fear
The guy
the
says
deer.
fear the what? How do you not know what fear the deer is? It's the golden deer motto.
Is it the golden deer model? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
fear the deer.
Is it really? I didn't know
That's what
this.
joke. That's what Mr. CJ sees it.
Oh,
Fear the
okay.
deer.
Okie dokie. Then, this was maybe the last topic. So, thank you everyone for coming, and I'm looking forward to do a podcast with you in the future again. I really enjoyed this one. That
Me too. I really enjoy doing this.
It was a little bit more different than Splatoon. It was just
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you invited me over.
You're
Same
welcome,
here.
and thank you for
Thanks for
coming.
having me.
So,
If you ever want to invite me again, please just let me know. I'd be happy to join in.
okay, that's great. Thank you. And
That is
sometimes
if I'm
it
free.
would be
that
great
is.
to play together too, because I only had podcast streams with other creators. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And again, thank you everyone for coming, and thank you Vasko, and thank you Huntgbunt for joining in to today's podcast. And then, oh, there was a Dorothea for a second because I misclicked. I think Agent will not be sad. So then, bye bye everyone, and thanks for coming.
Have a good one, y'all.